it to just normal heterosexual men. I think they're doing it to gay men who they know because they know that they're gay, and so they're shooting their shot. I
Yeah.
hate to say that, but it's the truth.
No, and that really doesn't surprise me. But I do think that the idea that you would go over there, even if this was a Trump
It was Trump Hotel on
Trump
inauguration
crowd.
night. Yeah, it was a Trump crowd.
Okay. The idea that they would be hostile. I mean, I know a lot of MAGA people.
One person was hostile.
Right. See,
So Bill Maher is about to call out Don Lemon for being a drama queen. A drama queen. Now, he is a homosexual as well, and he is trying to play the victim card. It's all so typical.
let me ask you your opinion on this. Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary show. They did one thing, they did a sketch where Tom Hanks puts on a MAGA hat, so he's a Trumper, and then Keenan comes over to shake his hand, and he won't shake his hand.
Yeah.
And I said this on Fareed's show the other day. I found that that's so old. You know, I didn't vote for him. I get all the bad things about that administration, but if you think they don't shake black people's hands, it's just you're wrong. That's not who they are.
Some of them
Matt
do.
Gaetz shakes black people's hands. You know, Kid Rock will shake your hand.
I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump also just recently had a black people celebration at the White House. So very interesting. He got all of the MAGA influencers, had him over at the White House after he had won.
It's just not helpful to like think that half the country that's where they are. That's your
Still, you're a comedian. You know, it's part of its comedy.
I understand.
But let's be honest. There's a huge faction of the MAGA movement that's really fucking racist.
I wouldn't say huge. No, I'd say partly.
I would say huge.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have different perspectives.
I would say huge. And even if they're not, you have to overlook a lot of that in order to support Donald Trump, which I think is maybe even more egregious than just saying I'm a racist.
So what do you think is the worst? I mean, to me, the back in, was it 89 with the Central Park 5?
Yeah.
That was, to me, like the most egregious thing because it just seems so like, and then, of course, the Obama birth certificate, which...
You mean with Donald Trump?
With Trump.
What's the most egregious?
Yeah, I mean, he sued me, Trump did.
For the orangutan thing.
Yes, because I was making fun of that because that was very racist. But also, like, he seemed to be just... I mean, there was something very animating about his like, just laser-focused drive.
Is he about to say that Donald Trump is racist? I can't do it if he's about to say that Donald Trump is racist. This is Bill Maher on Club Random. As you guys know, sometimes he drinks, sometimes he smokes. So most of the time he'll say exactly what he's thinking, and it is interesting. Make sure you guys leave a like, as that really does help the channel.
About the Central Park 5 thing. That seemed to... you could feel the racism in there.
What was the payoff? Why was he there? He wasn't running for office.
It was, right.
Yeah.
It just seemed like there's something in him. And of course, we know his father was a virulent racist.
Yeah.
You know, and he grew up in a different time, and he's almost 80. And yes, I understand that element to it. But you know, to ascribe to all the people who voted for him, which is a majority of the country.
I didn't say all the people.
Yeah, I understand.
It's not a majority. It's plurality.
Well, whatever it is, he won.
Yeah.
It's at least half the country. I mean, to ascribe his worst traits to all of them.
I don't think it's half the country, but go on.
Well,
to ascribe his worst traits to whatever.
How do you win an election?
Well,
and the popular
first it's
vote.
the electorate. Not everybody votes, and I don't think I think most of the people in America don't vote. And I don't think it's half the country. So what I'm saying is, I don't think half the country is racist, and I don't think all of MAGA is racist. But I do think that there's a huge element in the MAGA party that is racist, whether they are conscious of it or not. Some of them are not.
That's the reason that these conversations always are so annoying, is because racism is this like abstract kind of religious belief, and then you totally see how they come out and they say, well, they're just not conscious, there's just not the understanding of it, they haven't dug deep enough and understood their inner racism. And it's like, maybe they just are upset that there are serious black problems in America. They are Americans, and you guys have not addressed them because you keep on using this racism as a front to not actually fix any of the problems that are going on in black communities. And actually, when you don't fix them, guess what? A lot of people wonder why they're there, and they do say that it's because of race. And you guys are, perpetuating this when you don't address black issues and you make it about Black Lives Matter and cops abuse and victim, blah, blah, blah.
Not. And if they are not, they have had to overlook a lot of racism and a lot of bigotry. And if you do that and you say, I'm okay with this,
No.
I think that makes you worse than someone who just says, hey, I'm a racist, and they tell you.
But some of it is just a backlash to what they think was going too far, like all these corporations now that have dropped DEI. Now, in the government, they did it because he ordered
Backlash for what?
for too much DEI.
I don't think those people understand what DEI is. DEI is not the hiring of black people who are not qualified or
It can
people
be.
who are no. That's not what it's about.
It can have that result.
But anything can be. Yes, of course it could have that result, but there's no evidence that it does have that result. And
I
so
don't know about that.
Okay, so then what is your evidence? There's no evidence that there is that result. If you can show me the evidence, then okay, then I will agree with you.
Well, I'm not going to name any names.
Okay, but
I'll just say
diversity,
that.
equity, inclusion, first of all, is not. Maybe they're talking about affirmative action, which is a whole different thing, which is about making sure you hired, a certain number of people that are this, that, and that. But diversity, equity, and inclusion is about making sure that the pool of candidates is larger. So if you are fishing, rather than fishing in a swimming pool, maybe you're in a pond. Rather than fishing in a pond, you're in a lake, or maybe in a lake instead of a river, or in a river, you're in the ocean. So you're just trying to find.
Yeah, it's just a concept, right? This is not something that's actually rewarded or enforced, right?
Different people, and you're trying to increase the number of options of qualified people that you can hire. It's not about hiring people who are not qualified and who are just black. The biggest recipient of DEI is white women, and also veterans, because of veterans, and also people who are disabled people. It's just about making sure that disabled people have a ramp somewhere at work so that they get to work and they
Understood,
can
but
whatever.
equity is the word, not equality. That it was a change that people noticed. Equality was everybody gets an equal shot. Equity is like, no, it's basically quotas. Equity is we're going.
It's quotas. I don't think that America's never been about everybody getting an equal shot.
No, it certainly hasn't been. No one's
No.
contesting that.
No.
But that's what the idea, the old school liberal idea was, we need to strive for equality. That changed to equity. This is what some people are against, and reasonable people can disagree on it without being racist. Having said that, there are of course racists in this country. There always will be, just like there will always be criminals.
I agree, but I think the people who are disagreeing about it, they need to understand exactly what it is. I think people who disagree may not understand what it is. Now, I have an issue with DEI because I think when you make it a religion, it's not, then you end up with the Al Frankens of the world, of people who get canceled and they use the DEI stuff to get rid of people. But I think you have to understand what the real definition is, and that people have sort of co-opted it. And I think if you believe, as in the definition that the MAGA Trump administration, that they're saying what DEI is, that is a racist definition of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
What is it? What is it?
They're saying that this is because they're hiring people, women, people of color, minorities who are not qualified. And that's not what is
So
happening.
you're saying no person of color or woman who was not qualified was ever hired for any job?
I'm sorry. Well, no. I'm not saying that.
Oh, but
But
it seems like that would have to be the logical conclusion.
But that would be saying that no white people were ever unqualified.
And we know lots of.
The thing is, job qualifications and resumes are always lies. And they're always fibs. So whenever you add on another layer of people are going to be lying and fibbing, and I have to read through it, but also too, I can't do it. I can't read through a fib or a lie if they're black or they're a woman, because then, that's discrimination. It's like you're already making something that's somewhat complicated from a hiring standpoint. You're making it even more difficult and so much more confusing.
Of them have.
Yeah. And so when most of the people who are, they talk about the airplanes in the airplane industry, most of the pilots and the people who are white. Most of the doctors in the country, where they say DEI, we don't want it. Hey, most of the doctors are white. And so all of those malpractice suits are against mostly white doctors. Most of the planes that fall out of the sky are
Of course.
piloted by white pilots. And
Yes.
so
Oh, see, that's where you come in with your narrative that's anti-white, and that's, you know, well, DEI, look at, we have to combat the racism on the right by saying this, and then you force us to expose you. And whenever things happen in DC, like the horrible plane crash that happened, and the pilot is a woman, we have to point these things out because you're forcing our hand. Don Lemon is literally forcing the right's hand. Anyways, guys, that's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.